Cool, so I got one subscriber. And I'm sure he'll stay. So I was just trying to fix the lights. Hopefully it's... Okay, that was ruined. Never mind. I'm going to keep that light. I had kind of seeing spots right now, but, you know. Hey, look, everyone, Spot, it's running. That's not a very funny joke. Yeah, I'm doing maintenance in my room. I could show you my room, but that would be embarrassing. And I'm not doing it. Usually shows, you know, the episodes like next week. With vlogs, you can do it one a day. Of course, if I'm making my own show, I'm not following any of those rules. And therefore, it's the next episode is the next episode. That's why you subscribe. That's why you get informed, you know? Like, they did all of Breaking Bad in 1 year. Don't worry, I'm not going to go that far back. So, let's explain this show some more. Let's call it The Ruff Story. I'm going to get, like, titles and shit. And it's going to be dope. It's going to be a good episode this time. Of course, technically, this should not be here. It's filler. But, still rusty at this. I will tell you, though, that I wanted to be a YouTube star. Probably when I was, like, 23. I don't know. I'm 26 now, so great accomplishment. But, yeah. I should say more to this. I said each episode would be 10 minutes, and this is not even a minute. What to say? I like Batman. I have a watch that I'm not wearing, but I have a Facebook account now. Yeah, it's me. It's just not the me you know of if you know me. If you don't know me, well, get to know me. I'm not taking any spammers. I'm sorry. I don't need to see your bra and panties. Just you gotta get me into bed first. Anyway, what else to say about this? I record music. I write books that haven't been successfully published. Well, there's The Wrongdoer. You can read that if you want to. No one really does. I printed out for a friend of mine. His name's Mike. He works at the Coop. He's excited for my new book, my next book. I sent the Rooster, which was supposed to be a graphic novel, which became a graphic novel, which is just this. For those of you who are confused. So technically this isn't a graphic novel, this is a video game. But it went from video game to graphic novel to graphic novel, I think. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. Point is, that's my father. If you can hear that. We have a cat in the house. His name is Fitz. He likes to play with toys. He is a year old. His real name is Fitz William Ruffett. Well, the Darcy character. You know? Darcy. Fitz Darcy. Jane Austen. Yeah, this seems to be just bunk. What am I really doing in this episode? I live in Toronto. Not that you should care. I like the Joker. He's also on that calendar. Weird photo of him, if I have to be honest. Though that is Mark Hamill's portrayal of the Joker, which is my favorite portrayal of the Joker. Some people say Heath Ledger, but I disagree. I actually think the best portrayal of the Joker so far is Jared Leto. And why do I think that? I think that because Jared Leto did what Heath Ledger didn't do, which was he stayed on camera when the cameras were turned off. So he stayed in character while the cameras were turned off. And to celebrate that, I got Suicide Squad, which I started to read in a different channel. Guess what happened? That person deactivated her account or decided to unsubscribe from me. I'm not really sure which, She thought this was great what I was doing, but then maybe she realized the movie sucked and didn't want to see the rest of the readings. If someone comments about me wanting to read the book, I'll read the book on the show. Sure. I mean, it's my show, right? It's my show. I do what I want. Yeah, don't worry. I don't think there's going to be like 6 episodes tonight. It could be, but my life, unfortunately, is not that interesting. And I don't bring a camera with me everywhere, so I'm not going to be filming this like at a party. Though I could. Anyway, point is, it's going to be mostly me in my room talking. So, in a way, it's going to be a vlog. If anything, it's going to inspire me to write more in my diary, which is somewhere over there. I like pens. I have a whole collection of them. Let's see. Too late. It's a typewriter. Well, I think it's cool. What else to tell you? Not much else. I have bipolar. Don't know what time it is. But it's 8:30. Good. 9 o'clock, I take a pill. It's called Seroquel. This is not a poem. I have 3 pairs of glasses. That's one. The ones I just took off are called my Harry Potter glasses. These are my Bruce Banner glasses. Ask Katie Dean about that. Don't probably contact her on Facebook. I will not give you her Facebook profile. That's weird. Or her email. Because I have both now. So now. And these are my glasses. My friend Taylor thinks I look like a girl wearing these glasses. But with the whole, pronoun thing now. Him, he, her, she, they. I am a she. No. I am he. He, she. Wow, these are terrible jokes. Good thing I'm not doing this tonight. Oh, I do comedy. Probably should tell you that first. Yeah, I perform comedy at various clubs. The Corner, I used to perform at. I now have given up on the Corner. They seem to be sort of like your stepping stone, and then you step off the stone and do something else. What else to say? I am unemployed, and I hate it. I really passionately hate it. I live at home. Keep getting notifications, but they're not important. This isn't my favorite book, but I love the piece in it where they describe Batman's voice as a gravel, which apparently in the comic books they did. But the thing is with comic books is you don't really. It's like watching a movie in pictures. Like in the movies, you don't. The guy doesn't say he has a gravelly voice. You just hear he has a gravelly voice. So it's the same thing with comic books. It's like moving pictures. I don't know how else to explain it, because basically moving pictures is like film. I'm talking about film, because that's how film started, was just moving pictures. Point is this. Oh, you know what? I'll just read this. When does it start? Oh yeah, great. The scream echoed up and down the alleyway. It mixed with the music and the laughter, and the car horns down on the street. It rose up past the I always never know how to say this word. Derelict cars and worn brick walls to sweep through the towers of the old city cathedral. Once the spiritual center of a great metropolis, now fallen to ruin itself. Stone gargoyles watched the cathedral towers, monsters carved in the walls of the church, so tradition had it, to keep the evil spirits away. But these gargoyles only watched the evil and listened to the screams, until one of the gargoyles moved. Welcome to Gotham City. The friends, I love Gotham City, and the one with the gun, let's call them Nick and Eddie now, ran all the way to a safe place a roof 6 stories above the street, to take a look at what they'd found. Nick opened up the wall and started looking at the cards. All right, American Express! I don't have it. Never leave home without it. Shit. No. Don't leave home without it, eh? He turned his attention to counting cash. The night wind picked up, blowing gravel across the roof, and he looked up. He had heard a noise, like metal clanging against metal. He looked over at Nick. Let's beat it, man. I don't like it up here. Nick laughed. What are you, scared of heights? I don't know. Eddie couldn't help looking around, even though there was nothing out there except the darkness. After what happened to Johnny Gobbs. That made Nick angry. Look, Johnny Gobbs got ripped and walked off a roof, all right? No big loss. But Eddie knew it wasn't that simple. No, man. That ain't what I heard at all. He stopped for a minute as if he didn't want to say what came next, but it had to come out. I heard the bat got him. The bat? Nick looked away, as if his friend's idea wasn't even worth laughing about. Give me a break, will you, Eddie? But Eddie shook his head. 5 stories, straight down. There was no blood in the body. No shit, Nick agreed. It was all over the pavement. His head whipped around. He stared out into the dark. This time, he had heard the sound. He looked back at Eddie. Shut up, he barked. Listen to me. There ain't no bat. All of Eddie was shaking now. You shouldn't have turned the gun on that kid, man. You shouldn't have. You want you cut of this money or you don't, ya? Nick was yelling now. Now shut up! Shut up! He stopped when he heard the new sound. It was different this time and closer, and they both knew what it was. Boots crunching on gravel. They both turned to look. Eddie made a strangled gurgling sound. Something darker than the night stood on the edge of the roof. It walked toward them. Maybe it was a man. It spread what should have been its arms slowly, majestically. There was movement below those arms, like a shadow of something that wasn't there, or a great pair of leathery wings. On its chest there was a yellow oval that seemed to glow with a light of its own, and in the middle of that oval was the deep black emblem of a bat. Nick pulled out his gun and dropped to the gravel. He fired twice the bat emblem, 2 clean shots. He was too close to miss. The black figure jerked back as they hit, then fell to the roof with a satisfyingly solid sound. I'm getting out of here, Nick whispered. He turned around to grab the wallet. Eddie made a low noise, too scared to scream. Nick looked back. The human bat was standing again, and it was coming for them. The money fell out of Nick's fingers and flared away on the night breeze. He had to get out of this place. Nick kept low, half running, half crawling across the roof. There was someone blocking the way. Someone standing in front of the fire escape. A human bat. No one's going to trap him like this. Nick fired again, and again, and again, the gun shaking in his hand. This time the bullets didn't do anything at all. The bat walked forward. Eddie was in his path, huddled on the roof, unable to do anything except piss in his pants. I hate interruptions, I really do. Anyway, the bat walked around him. As the thing passed, a single black boot caught Eddie in the middle of the chest. It lifted him completely off his feet and sent him flying through the air into a brick chimney. Eddie slumped to the roof, out cold, and the bat didn't even stop. He just kept on walking. Nick had to get away. He jumped up, fear moving his legs, and ran past the moving shadow toward the fire escape, and the bat moved its hand. Nick was falling forward. He could no longer use his legs. They were pinned together, wrapped in something, rope or wire. Nick screamed. He had to get away. His arms were still free. He pulled his body along the rooftop, the gravel slicing into his elbows, drawing a dozen tiny streams of blood. Nick couldn't think about the pain. He could think only about the bat. He dragged himself to the edge of the roof. The bat stayed right behind him, never overtaking him, but never far away. There was no place for Nick to go, no place he could escape. There was only the ledge and the bat. Nick almost lost it, almost crapped his pants, like that candy-ass Eddie, until he remembered the gun. No one could get him when he had the gun. Both his hands shook as he lifted his piece, so much heavier than it was before. He shot and shot again, but he could no longer open his eyes to aim. Click! The hammer hit an empty chamber. Click, click, click! Something came from inside Nick, a hopeless sound. The sound of somebody was about to die. He felt 2 hands grab his shirt and lift him from the roof. Don't kill me, Nick whispered. Don't kill me. Nick opened his eyes. The bat stood on the edge of the roof, and he held Nick out beyond the edge, over nothing. The bat opened his mouth. His voice was a rasp, like a file biting into steel. You're trespassing. Bat breath. Rat breath. Nick looked down, 6 stories down, the tiny, tiny car so far below. He looked up into the bat's face. But where the thing's eyes should have been were 2 mirrors, twin reflections of Nick's fear. Nick tried to ignore the pounding in his ears, the feeling of his legs kicking out nothing but air. But what did it matter? He was going to die anyway. He'd tell off the bat before he went. Trespassing! He tried to laugh, but it came out as more of a cough. You don't own the night. The bat smiled. Tell your friends. Tell all your friends. The smile widened to show teeth. I am the night. Nick screamed as he felt the bat's grip on him shift. He was spun around and thrown roughly on the towering gravel rooftop. He still managed to look up, to see the bat step off the building's edge, 6 stories up, off into nothing but air. What was going on? Nick couldn't help himself. He had to see where the bat had gone. He crawled to the ledge and looked over. 6 stories down. There was no one there. The bat had disappeared. That's when Nick really started to scream. Welcome to Gotham City, punk. A new Gotham City. Well, we're now at 16 minutes, but I wanted to do one more thing before we head off, and it's this. Before Batman, there was a character named the Shadow. I believe that's right. And what was interesting about the Shadow is he was like the combination of a dark Batman and the Joker. He had this laugh that was terrifying. But what was cool about him was he also was a billionaire, has a name, doesn't need it, but he was probably more ferocious than Batman is. But what's also interesting about the Shadow is he was a radio program that played in, I think, the 60s or 70s. You can look this all up. But yeah, so that was the Shadow, and I think he's even cooler than Batman, though I love Batman. But what I love about Batman is not just the fact that he's a man dressed up as a bat, because that's just funny. More Joker blood in me than Bruce Wayne blood, or Batman blood, or Bat blood. Anyway, point is, what am I trying to say? Yeah, what I love about Batman is his cape. See, for some reason, I don't know who came up with the idea. You can look it up. Superheroes have capes. Superman's cape basically is how he flies, but he can fly without it. It's just like a gardening tool, or like a thing, you keep in your room, like lights. Do we really need lights? All of these lights? No. We still have them. Anyway, the point is, Batman's cape is supposed to be in actual working order. It's supposed to do something. It's part of him, but his cape helps him fly, which, by the way, he doesn't fly ever. He glides. So, when Leonardo da Vinci created his flying machine, his first flying machine, which is the animatronic machine, people know what it is, I always thought that it would have made more sense when they came up with Batman for him to have that on, and that's what Bob Kane wanted. But apparently Bob Kane is a hack and basically just stole from Leonardo da Vinci. Of course, by this point, Leonardo da Vinci is dead, even though he said in his notes that he would want this guy to look like a bat. And Bob Kane said, let's make him a superhero. And Finger wrote it, I think. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Long story short. They didn't know where to hide the machine, so we have Batman's cape. But I always thought that if you redid the whole Batman series, as they keep doing, by the way, right, my favorite Joker is Mark Hamill. My favorite Batman is, Troy, whatever his name is, Tony. Wow, that's embarrassing. The voice of Batman, the first animated. Anyway, can't think of his name. Anyway, I think okay, fine. The best live Joker so far is Jared Leto. Oh, that's not fair. The best live Joker so far is Heath Ledger. And the best live Batman so far is Christian Bale. There, I said it. I know I was going to say. Oh, yeah, right. So if someone decided to redo it like the way Christopher Nolan did it, And instead of introducing him with the cape first, I would introduce the animatronic machine. And the only reason Bruce Wayne would use that is to test his fear of heights, or just to try to fly in case the cape one day breaks. I don't know. Like, you figured out. That's it. I'm done. 20 minutes is too long.